My name is Ricky Miller.
I'm Anna Marie.
I'm Alexa Steele.
I'm Jasmine Hookman.
And I'm Amanda Hancock. Okay, today the goal is to discuss the problems in the case given and develop a plan to resolve the conflict in the company. So first we're going to introduce the problem. The purpose is to have the class identify and examine the problems in the case with support and evidence from the case. Second, we're going to define and analyze the problem. And the purpose of this is to narrow down the abundance of problems to one specific problem and determine how this affects the company as a whole. Third, we're going to establish criteria. The purpose of this is to have the HR professionals to establish criteria for deciding on the best possible solution. Fourth, we're going to generate possible solutions. And this is when we have the HR professionals brainstorm possible solutions. And then we're going to evaluate possible solutions. The purpose of this is to apply the criteria to the possible solutions and decide whether or not they meet their criteria and solve the problem. And lastly, we'll come to a conclusion. We will vote on a solution if one has not already been chosen. All right, so let's start by introducing the problem. What do y'all think the problems are in this case?
So Doug and Laura really don't get along, as everyone can see.
And there's possibly some romance in the workplace, which has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Doug undermines Laura. Laura's authority in front of other co-workers and her inferiors.
And we have Charles, the manager, who can't seem to come up with a solution on his own, so it's having to go towards the regional manager.
Right.
Okay.
I think Charles is on the outside. He can see both Doug and Laura have their problems, and he can't seem to come to a conclusion of who is the biggest troublemaker in the workplace, I guess.
And I guess part of that could be because Doug and Charles have had a work relationship for a while, so he probably just doesn't want to get in the middle of the situation.
Yeah, I heard Charles mention that Doug didn't want Laura there in the first place at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what do y'all think the main general problem is?
Yeah, so we have that Doug is undermining Laura's authority. Charles can't come up with a solution to fix this. Doug and Laura are not getting along, which I think is the kind of umbrella of the problem. And then Doug seems closer to Charles and didn't want Laura there.
Okay, yeah.
I think that the main issue is that their behavior is is affecting coworkers at the workplace because, as Charles said, everyone has come to him and complained about their behavior. So I just think that their behavior is becoming a sore thumb at work.
Yeah, it's setting a bad tone for everyone. Okay.
Do y'all agree that that's...
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like it's time to move on to, defining and really analyzing the problem that you just stated, so...
Okay, so what do you think could happen to the company as a whole if this isn't solved and they continue to keep fighting?
I feel like more people are just going to be drug into, the conflict and not be able to complete their tasks because they can't get along.
Yeah, sales are probably going to decline, and employees are probably going to quit, which means that they're going to have a really high turnover of employees.
Yeah, I agree with the whole employees because, it's going to all trickle down and just be overall bad atmosphere.
Right.
Employees may be forced to choose a side, and that could be a huge
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
I
What the
know
company
Laura
has.
Laura was saying that Doug was telling the people underneath him that they don't need to speak to her, answer questions, or forward any work to her, so that could definitely...
Yeah, because Laura's trying to get them to fill out required paperwork, isn't she?
Right.
And then Doug's refusing, so that could also be a problem with corporate headquarters and stuff.
Right. And that's just against company policy
Right.
in general, I'm sure.
And Doug even knows that the paperwork is required. He says, I don't like all her paperwork. I know it's necessary, but she bugs me about it.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's more a problem, a personal problem for him, not just
Right.
It's just the respect level is just not there. So, it can definitely turn into the customers receiving bad experience when they come in if everyone's in a bad mood.
Right. If he can't even hide it from his coworkers.
Exactly.
We have about let's spend about one more minute on analyzing the problem, but I wanted to add that Laura also feels like she needs reassurance from everything, so that could, be a problem that goes along with that. Not everyone's going to have reassurance for the job you get done, so.
Right.
So
Charles
it's
made it sound like
time-consuming.
Laura was like an equal problem.
Right.
So we do all agree that Laura and Doug's behavior is, setting a bad example and affecting the coworkers, and all the problems that we just listed kind of is evident of that.
Right.
Right. So what do y'all think would be the most important criteria for the solutions that we might generate? We'll generate solutions next, but maybe some criteria before.
Whatever they do should be able to be implemented now, so that
Right.
it's one thing.
How long should it be, like the time frame before like the solution has to be handled or solved? Like how long should we give them?
I feel like maybe 2 weeks is a good, enough time for change.
Yes.
I agree.
Also, I feel like if we need to consider how much work is being put off and not getting done in the meantime.
Right.
So,
How simple should the solution be? Like, should it be something they can do that's like an easy thing to fix, or should it be something that requires like steps?
I think it should probably be a little bit more simple, just because it seems like they just need to have a conversation and
Right.
sit down and hash out their problems and figure out what's going on between the two of them so that they can get along.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
maybe
not
Charles
children.
needs to, sit down with them and be more firm.
Right. What about cost? Do you think there should be any cost restraints on this? 'Cause I know they're paying us to probably spend a lot of money.
Right.
I don't think that cost should be a factor. Just because they shouldn't have to pay to make people, do their job and respect.
Okay, so keep it
I definitely
no
agree.
cost?
Yeah,
Okay.
But do we think that there needs to be any way, criteria that holds them accountable in any type of way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Consequences maybe.
I'm thinking maybe have them sign something, whatever solution that we agree on, have
That's a
them
good
sign
idea.
off, and that way if they don't do it, there could be repercussions of their actions if it continues.
That's smart.
And maybe like you said, just time. It has to be done soon because it's going to start affecting other people.
Okay, so we have, looks like 4 criteria right now. It needs to be completed within 2 weeks. As simple as possible. Don't want to make it too complicated. It should be free since they're already paying us. And we need to be able to hold them accountable. So whatever solution we come up with, let's have them sign the contract pretty much. If they break it, there will be some consequences.
Sounds good. It seems like time to generate some solutions from. We don't need to apply the criteria just yet. We'll do that after. Let's just generate some general solutions that y'all might think.
And brainstorming.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we could weigh the pros and cons of Doug and Laura and see who's more important, and then just fire the least important one so that there's
Okay.
no conflict.
It's always an option.
See if Laura and Doug would sit down and hash it out and try to resolve amongst themselves without having to bring Charles into the mix.
We can put them both on a probationary period where if they broke the rules or kept disrespecting each other, we could, just go ahead and, get rid of whoever is, breaking the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
We could transfer one.
Oh, that's
Since Laura just came in, we could
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
transfer one of them back out.
Send her back.
Also, we could have a middleman. Someone
That's
that
a good
kind of transfers the work between them, so they don't actually have to work together.
Yeah, I was thinking that to like restructure the job duties to where they don't have to necessarily communicate as much with each other.
Right.
Um,
I think
Yeah.
going back to what Jasmine said, I think if one of us mediated that conversation between them, that could help too, since they
Right.
obviously aren't like able to have an adult conversation
Right.
together.
Yeah.
And in that meeting, we can just give them expectations of their jobs. That
Right.
way, Doug knows, that he has to do the paperwork, and like that's not optional, and that's required. So just giving them job expectations, would probably help.
Right.
Right.
And to piggyback off of the job expectation thing, because I had wrote down maybe create like some sort of rules that they have to follow like across the board to alleviate like any of the little petty stuff they were doing or whatever. Like just eliminate all of that. Like,
Yeah, because
like
it
a
seems
set
it doesn't know,
rules.
like they don't even know how they're supposed to behave.
Right.
Like
right.
nothing's been done to tell them
so
otherwise.
behavior expectations, that sort of thing.
I do
Yeah.
think that also with the expectation thing, there should be a time limit on how long Doug has to like respond to Laura and like just not ignore
Oh,
her. So
yeah.
like maybe 24 hours to respond to like
That's
notes and emails and things like that. So
Yeah.
she knows that he's not just ignoring her, but also she needs to maybe think about what she's asking of him, or like how many notes that she's giving him a day, so it doesn't become excessive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea.
I also think along with like telling them a set of rules and stuff, since Doug did ask her to a movie, and that almost seems where like the problem's stemming from, we could explain them the rules of like office romance and like what's acceptable and
Yes.
what's not.
Reiterate the policies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we have a company meeting with all the employees, since it seems that it's affecting everyone? Maybe
Yeah.
just having a meeting with all of them could alleviate some of the tension and
Everybody
gain
on
some of
the
that
same
respect.
page.
Yeah.
Right.
So gain some of that respect back to Laura that maybe
Right.
has been lost.
And that wouldn't even take much of their time. That could be done in like 30 minutes.
Well, those are some good solutions. Maybe we should move on and establish the solutions that apply to the criteria that we've already come up with.
Okay, I can go through the solutions one by one
Okay.
and then see if they have meet the criteria. Okay, so the first one would be to fire the least important employee. I feel like this would be pretty simple, and it would establish consequences, but we would have to pay one of them a severance package. And so that
Yeah.
would come with the
Right.
no cost situation.
So that one's out.
Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then next is just have them, okay, some of these go together. Just have them like talk it out. One of us could mediate, and during that conversation we explain to them like their job expectations, a known set of rules of how they should behave, and kind of reiterate the policies of office romance.
That's something that can be easily done.
Yeah.
Not
It can
a lot
definitely
of
be
cost.
done in 2 weeks.
Right.
So.
Okay, so that one meets criteria.
Will we get them to sign off on it, since that was one of the
Oh
things
yeah,
that we set to the criteria?
yeah, definitely sign off to like what's agreed upon, all the rules and stuff that we set out. Transfer one of them. I think that would also have a cost.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that would
would
be
be
a
a
cost. So
Yeah.
You have to pay them for moving fees and things
And
like
it might
that.
not be as
Right.
quick as
Right.
you need it to be either.
Right, yeah, that probably wouldn't be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Have a middleman between them so they don't have to work together.
That could be costly if we were to hire someone else.
That's true.
But
And it doesn't seem very simple
Yeah,
that we have to hire.
very
Yeah,
simple.
train a new person.
And especially
Yeah, to keep
since
them
Charles
separated.
is supposed to be the middleman already,
Right.
he's
Right.
not
Right.
doing his
And they should be
job.
able to do their job with
Right.
each other without a middleman.
okay, so we'll fix that one.
Okay, and this one could also be done along with other solutions. Is create a time limit for Doug to respond to Laura with required paperwork. I like that's simple.
Yeah,
and
That's
free.
simple and timely in a timely manner. So
Yeah,
that could
and it
be
holds Doug accountable.
a
Yes, it
possible
does.
solution.
Okay. So what we have left is basically, I'm just going to summarize these all together. So we're going to have Doug and Laura have a conversation with each other, and one of us can be there. We're going to list out their job expectations, give them a known set of rules that they need to follow for office behavior, reiterate the policies of office romance, and create a time limit for Doug to respond to Laura, and that can go both ways. And then with all the rules and stuff that we lay out for them, we're going to have them sign it to hold them accountable.
Yeah, that
Sound
sounds great.
Yeah, that's pretty
Good deal.
So do we need to like pick one, or do all those go together?
Yeah, should we do all of those or?
I feel like they all go together.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
kind of mesh well together,
Yeah.
and they're all important to the company and the company policies. So if
Okay.
y'all all agree that we should,
Just have a meeting and just set out the rules and get them to sign off on it,
right.
right?
and that could be done all in timely fashion. Then
All
I
right,
think that's a good
Sounds good.
solution.
great plan.
All right. Good job, guys.
Go team.